time now for Coming In Hot with Brent Wallace and former Ottawa Senator Jason York.
Good morning, everybody. It's March 5th. Welcome to Coming In Hot. Brent Wallace alongside Jason York, as this show is probably brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. And we promised this show, Yorkie, tariff-free.
Yeah, we are a tariff-free talk show. How you doing?
You?
How was before we get into everything here, all the hockey talk and trade deadline coming? How was the Wallace anniversary last night? This is need to know podcasting here.
Did you talk to Lisa?
I have not. I have not. I've been busy preparing for the show.
I'm just wondering how this came up. Okay,
give me the goods. Give me the goods. What happened?
I don't know. My mic just. Anyway,
come on. You're stalling. You're stalling. You're get to the good stuff here. Did you go for dinner? Was there a card?
Okay.
Was there presents?
There's been a rule, like no cards. Just let's not bother with cards. We were just on a trip. There's no need. Whatever. And then she puts it like she joins the chat and says there better be a card and dinner. And I'm like, we just discussed on the trip that our last meal on our vacation was going to be our anniversary dinner. So now I'm scrambling, Yorkie.
Okay.
I'm now in panic mode. So I make a card. And you know, if you use the printer, you got to print both sides. Well, I printed it upside down.
Hold on. You didn't hand draw it?
No, I'm not hand drawing this. I didn't go to whatever school you went to for your drawing class.
School of Arts. Okay, so then what happened?
So then I'm like, I gotta make reservations apparently for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And I also told my daughter we would take her out for thanking her for watching Gertie for 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I big brained it. Lone Star does fajitas 2 for 1 or whatever it is on Tuesdays. And then so we went to Lone Star where I got a deal.
You got that's for it. Like for your anniversary, do they make you stand up and sing a song?
No, luckily they didn't. They didn't. But yeah, that's
so you Lone Starred it.
But here's the thing, Yorkie. Lisa didn't get me a card.
Nothing. No return card. So you gave a card.
I'm sweating to death. I gotta make this card, and nothing.
Whoa. So there was one card exchanged, but not another one rescinded.
There was nothing coming. Why doesn't the female, in this case, Lisa, do more? Because I'm the one who went out of his way to ask her to marry her.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good point.
Like, she should be thanking me. No?
So hold on. So it was you, your daughter, Lisa alone. So it was like a family dinner for the anniversary.
Yeah.
And you got a deal. It was 2 for 1 fee.
I nailed it. Yeah.
And okay, so I get the picture now. You went on the cheap. You made a card. And you brought your daughter. Sounds like a romantic evening had by all.
And then I slept alone.
The singles didn't get pushed together?
No, she went and slept in Ryan's room because she had to get up early this morning.
How'd this happen? You made a card. You went
I did everything right.
You did kinda like a couple of detours, like a dimly lit restaurant with some candles and maybe a guy playing the violin, and I don't know. Those places still exist. I don't know.
I thought I nailed it.
Listen, don't get me wrong. I like a good Lone Star. Good Lone Star is never a bad thing. I'm not sure I'm going there on my anniversary.
She likes fajitas.
Not sure if I'm going there on the anniversary. If I'm hoping for a little something later.
I took her to Thailand.
Well, it was a company trip. She took you. Wasn't it her job? But like when we really break it down, like that's what we do on the show, right? We break things down. We have Yorkie. Maybe have to make a Yorkie vids of this, of exactly what went wrong. Get to the Wallace house, and here's Wally in the D zone here, and he makes a terrible pass, terrible decision at the red line to invite his daughter to dinner, and then, oh boy, he's making a card, and okay, things aren't going to go well later in the night for the Wallaces. They are now in separate rooms.
No, there's a lot of people chiming in right now. No.
Well, Wally, the cheapest man in podcast history.
Yeah.
That's pretty cheap. It's pretty cheap. 2-for-1 Tuesday. I didn't even know they had a 2-for-1 Tuesdays there.
Yeah, I forget what it is, but
Lone Star is very wrong. Oh god.
Putting the loan. This is my favorite. Putting the loan in Lone Star.
I remember when I used to go to the one on Baseline all the time. There, with the original Lone Star. And with someone's birthday or a special occasion, the whole staff comes around. They start yelling and singing. They bring something out. Like, did you at least do that?
It's funny you say this, Yorkie, because our very first date was Lone Star on Baseline.
Okay, so there is a little bit of a romantic thing going on. Did you bring that up? Did you talk about that?
Well, no, because she was. I don't think she was. I think she wanted.
Did you hold hands under the table? Say this is where it all started.
No, you just looked at Brooke and said, "You're luckily we got married, and then now you're here."
You just went to Lone Star. Because here's the thing with Lone Star, and I love Lone Star. You stink like Lone Star for the rest of the night when you go home. Like you're not getting that smell off you.
It's true. It's true. So, can we move on? Oh, by the way, okay, now we're moving on. By the way, I did hear, speaking of which, congratulations are in order for the Yorkie household.
Yes, Wally. Yes, yeah. We sold our place. Haven't met the people, obviously. Yeah, very happy. Heard the nice couple about the house. They're going to be super happy here. Yeah, no, it was good. Easy process, seamless. And actually good timing too, because we're going to be moving into our new place right around when you close. Anyone that's ever sold a house before, it's all about timing, right? Of when you go to your next house, and you want to make sure those line up. So as of now, Wally, things are lined up pretty good. So no, we're happy, and yeah, it was a nice process. Nice process.
By the way, any chance there's a guest room?
I got one at the house. Yeah. Hey, got to give a shout out to my daughter too, Alex, who our agent did a phenomenal job. It's nice when you keep things in the family, kind of like what you do. Well, you bring for anniversaries, you bring everybody out for your anniversary. Yeah. My daughter did a tremendous job. Tremendous.
See, okay, all right. The Sens in Chicago today.
How do we segue out of your anniversary in the Sens in Chicago?
The winds of change. I don't know, Yorkie. I didn't give it much thought. I just want to move on before Lisa tunes into the show.
The old pumpernickel, Graham Nichols is a pretty good segue guy. He's pretty good.
You don't need a segue guy. Like
he could be segue guy.
Okay.
Oh boy. Anyways, it's a big one tonight.
It is a big one. So this show probably brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers. I probably could have maybe gone to Charm for the anniversary gift. Proudly Canadian owned and operated since 1972 with more than 85 locations across the country through Charm and their sister brands. Get custom ring building delivered in less than 4 weeks for the Charm Masterpiece Program and unbeatable pricing policy. Don't forget, hey, time now to start thinking about summer engagements. Check out a large selection of Canadian lab-grown diamonds, mine diamonds. Don't pay until 2026. Apply for the Charm Diamond Flexity Card today. Get approved for no interest financing on your purchase in minutes. For more information, go to charmdiamondcenters.com. And by Tim Hortons.
Oh, sorry, Wally. Of course, by our good friends at Tim Hortons. And you know what? Canada's favorite contest is back. Roll Up to Win at Tim Hortons is going on again. That means you could win millions of amazing prizes with just the swipe of a thumb. Imagine turning your routine Tim's run into an unforgettable vacation with sell-off vacations. You can get a 1,000 Rackatoon cash prize or an all-new electric 2025 Volkswagen ID Buzz. Those are pretty cool. Even the simple joy of winning a coffee or donut can make everyone's day, but you can only do it until March 23rd. So open up that Tim's app, get rolling. It's your game, Canada. So don't let this chance of a millions pass you by. Play Roll Up to Win on the Tim's app right now.
Just forgot, Yorkie. I've got a full coffee here, but I'm going to try and do the Roll Up to Win.
Yeah, you're going to do a live rolling? Did you do a Timmy's run in the morning, Wally, before the show?
I did today. And 0 for 2 so far. Good going.
0 for 2. I am, I'm 1 for 1. We stopped, we hit the Timmy's on the way we went through Vermont on the way up to see my son play. We hit that Timmy's right before you cross the border to get on the 89 or whatever, that highway up to Vermont. First one, boom, coffee.
By the way, Dan, is it Dan? I just can't remember. David Bain, I love the unpredictability of this talk show.
We get into a lot of topics. We break down a lot of things. Like I like to break down plays. I also like to break down Wally's anniversary dinner. What went wrong? What went wrong? What went right?
You know, I'm sure Lisa hasn't commented in the chat, by the way. I'm thinking she knows she did wrong. I'm going to tell her that today.
I don't know if you want to go. I just leave it. Just don't. All right. You know what? Throw the tape away. Throw the tape away from last night and move on. Wash it.
Okay. Let's burn the tapes. Let's check in on today's standings, by the way, because a big night last night as the hockey gods did Ottawa a favor, as Columbus and Detroit both lost, as did Boston for that matter. Sets up a huge night tonight. If Ottawa wins and the Rangers lose, Ottawa's automatically back into a playoff spot. They're back in the wild card spot. Back in business. Good night. It was a good night last night, right? This for some scoreboard watching. Yeah, this is going to be the way it is coming right down. I think this is going to be a race that goes right down to the last couple of games of the year. There's just so many teams in the mix. And like I said, Wally, there's those pesky Rangers sitting right there. They could be a problem, but yeah, this is a huge tonight. It's a must win. Like you have to go in there and beat the Chicago Blackhawks. And you know what? I think this team's ready for the pressure. We're saying the right things. They came they turned an almost disaster in the Washington, going down 3-0 to a same with the game before against San Jose. Cut down in that game. We're able to win that, and we're able to get a point. So you basically got 3 or 4 points where you didn't have your best stuff to start the game. So tonight, what's important, what's imperative, they got to have a good start. No more. I used to have a coach that used to say, don't dip your toe in the water to see if it's nice enough to jump in. Just jump right in. And, you know, I think this team will be prepared tonight. I think Ottawa is going to be very prepared to start this game and make sure you get off to a good start. Because it doesn't matter. Like I'm saying they should beat Chicago, but look last night. Anaheim pumped the Edmonton Oilers. And there you go. That's what could happen. Like, even on the shitty teams, you got really talented guys that can put the puck in the net. All it takes is a few mental errors, a couple of missed saves, and you've lost the game. So you got to be sharp. You just, when you have a bad team like Chicago, you just have to take their will away at the beginning of the game, and you got to make it hard. So I predict Ottawa is going to come out and get back to playing the way they were playing when things were going really well, Wally. You remember those days, right? Remember when they were winning games and you're like, wow, this team is like, they've totally changed how they play defense. They don't give you anything. That's their identity. They don't turn pucks over. They don't make bad changes. So mental mistakes like the bad changes, I'll guarantee you they watched that in video a bunch of times, and there were most likely some guys called out. And that's a non-negotiable. Like you can't change like that, especially in the situation you are right now. You can't let mental mistakes lose you hockey games. Fortunately, they got a point out of that last game, but now you're playing a bad team. You can't give bad teams
layups like that on bad line changes and just mental miscues.
So interesting to point out, by the way, I don't want to get past today's game, but the Rangers are in town. Excuse me, Saturday.
Yeah, they're coming there. Oh, that's
a huge game. And don't forget, that's Brady Tkachuk's scheduled game right now, number 500 of his career. So it sets up for a huge day. I think it's a 12:30 game, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway,
huge.
We'll set up that Thursday and Friday as we get nearer to that.
Look at this week coming up next week. Eh? Like, get by this game. You got trade deadline, and then bam, Rangers, Detroit, Philly, Boston, Toronto. Oh yeah, here comes Montreal. Then you got this is a. I as a player, Wally, I used to love this when you get into a groove, right? You get into a groove, you're playing, you're not practicing much, and the games mean so much. This is the time. This is the time when you're a hockey player that you want to be playing. Like this is the good stuff that Ottawa hasn't had for what's it been, 7 years? 7 years of playing in March when nothing really matters. Misery.
So okay, let me get to that. Here, look, is March 5th of last year. Actually, I think it's March 6th. Here are the standings in the Eastern Conference, Jake. Yeah. Ottawa sat second last. They had the worst goal save percentage, and I think the second worst goals against average, something to that effect. They were 19 points out of a playoff spot a year ago.
Just miserable.
We do need to have a little perspective and say, hey, there's been a pretty big turnaround for this group to be where they're at, right? The meaningful games in March.
100%. That's like that's what I was talking about yesterday when people are like, wow, they're a point out of the playoffs. I'm like, yeah, look where they were last year, the year before. Like, this is, like I said, this is what, if you would have polled people at the beginning of the year, I also too, like we had Steve Staios on this show, Wally, to start the season. And what did he say the goal in his mind that he saw for this team was? And that's the guy that's calling the shots, right? Do you remember?
Yeah. He was trying to be cautiously optimistic.
But you can't, like, you gotta, like, to your point, here's the proof right here. This is where Ottawa was last year, 15th. Now they're 1 point out. So has progress been made? Absolutely. Does this team have a chance to make the playoffs? 100%. Are they in control of their own destiny? Yeah, they don't have to rely on anybody. Right now, if they take care of business, you win tonight, get yourself on a roll, you control your own destiny. How great is that? If you're a player in the Senators dressing room and if you play well, you can make the playoffs. It's a great position to be in. So I'm jacked to see where this team is right now. And I'm jacked to see games that are important. I'm not going to say that word. I'm not going to say it, Wally.
Sounds like you're saying it.
I'm not going to say meaningful games, important games.
Jake, we need to have like a beep machine. If Yorkie does that again, we just need to beep him out like a swear word.
You said it first.
Yorkie, we have an update.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'd like to point out Lisa Burke Wallace has commented in the show. She's now trying to get out of not having bought a card.
Quote from Lisa Wallace. To be fair, I was at work all day and didn't get a chance to get a card. Well, that's fair. That's fair.
Oh, no. No way. If a guy did that, I'd be like, well, what was wrong with yesterday or the day before? Did you just realize the anniversary was today?
Well, listen. She's old school. She believes in chivalry. She needs to be romanced. She needs to be taken to the Lone Star. 2 for 1 Tuesdays. Like 100%. It was packed with screaming kids. 100%.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Just all the cheapskates like you were in there.
I wanted to support a local business. Thought I'd take her out.
Yeah, listen, Lone Star is great. I love the Lone Star. But, to get them on for a sponsor now, my God, we've been pumping their tires for the last 20 minutes.
I know. I thought she was working. And this is going to go on now. You know what? We have a drive tomorrow to Toronto.
Oh, yeah?
This might be a very quiet 4-hour drive.
Hopefully it doesn't snow again. Like Uncle Like, stop snowing. Every time I pull out of my driveway, it's like a crapshoot because the snowbanks are so high. I'm like, please don't be a car there. Please don't be a car. Like,
you said yesterday, oh, what a great day it is outside. And I went out and shoveled twice.
I know.
Anyway.
Okay, enough's enough. We've had enough.
Chicago. Okay. Right. So, interesting about Chicago. By the way, Ottawa's now faced the top 2 teams in the league and the worst 2 teams in the league in a 4-game stretch, which is very odd. They're going to face a Chicago team that we've all seen is not very good, except their special teams are top 10.
Wow. Bedard is a power play. He's a specialist on the power play. Like, you give that kid time and space, he's a special player on the power play. 5-on-5 game, defensive game needs some work, but he's a young kid. But yeah, he's and that's the thing too. They're going to be loose too. And like I said, like those teams like this time of year, when you're playing loose, you don't have that fear of making mistakes because the damage is already done. So yeah, stay out of the box. Don't take stupid penalties. And playing a team like that, they're going to cheat. They're going to, like, a lot of guys on that team they know that when you're on a bad team, you're probably going to be, if you're an older guy or a guy that's not part of the plans, you need to pad your stats because you're looking for a new home for next season. So the other thing too, don't forget Spencer Knight. Like, he'll probably be starting. So there's a very motivated goaltender that's now getting an opportunity. Like, he's been brought into Chicago to be the man. So you could run into a scenario where you get run into a hot goalie, but all that stuff shouldn't matter. This game is far too important for Ottawa to come out and get off to another bad start. 2 bad starts in a row. I just can't see them having another one tonight. I think they'll be on their toes to start this one. But yeah, they got a good power play for sure. So stay out of the box.
Okay, I need to have a discussion with you as a former player.
Sure.
And we've had a bit of this in the past. I don't like their lack of practice. And I know this time of year, the body's worn down a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
They do not practice. They didn't practice yesterday. They're going to be on the ice today. It's going to be a 15-minute probably twirl. I just want to see them with a lot more practice time. I just haven't liked it all year. I'm not sure why, and I know it's the way the league seems to be going.
Yeah.
I just think there needs to be more practice. Why aren't you skating yesterday?
Well, you came back from Washington, or no, sorry, where were they practicing today?
Yeah. In Chicago, they were in Chicago yesterday.
In Chicago. I'll give you my take on it, because when I played, we practiced way too much.
All the time, right?
It was crazy. It was crazy.
You would play
we would have got in Chicago after the game, get to the hotel by 2 a.m. You get up, you're still tired, you're still down 4 or 5 pounds from the game. And you get up, go to the rink, watch video, go on the ice, and you've already lost. You haven't recovered from the night before, and then you practice again, and you're tired again. So I do like the new way they do it. Sure, would I like to see a little bit more practice? But you know who probably needs it? The guys that aren't playing as much. Like, your top guys, they don't really need it. Like, the last thing you want to be doing with 22 games left, you're not getting any better. You're really not getting any sharper by jumping on the ice again, especially if you're a guy like Sanderson that played 31 minutes. You don't need to be on the ice. So it's a balance. You could do an optional skate. But then the optional skate is the whole team. I don't know why. It's just the schedule.
Skates don't do it for me.
Look at the 4 Nations. If you want to blame someone, it's the schedule. The schedule is so congested. All these games right now. So it's like, do you want to practice, or do you want to make sure everybody is focused and rested, everybody's recovered and ready to play? So yeah, I'd love to see them practice, but the schedule, it's brutal this year. Like, look at, we just flashed it up there. Like, what are you gonna do? It is what it is.
I just don't like it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I'm used to the Jacques Martin of you skate after every game, right?
Yeah. From my perspective, I thought we used to practice way too much, but everybody did it. Yeah. Now nobody seems to practice. I don't know. You watch the games, like, skill level's never been higher. Guys are making plays and passes and shooting like you've never seen before. Guys are the speed of the game's crazy. So I don't know. Let me tell you, these guys have been on the ice in their lifetime 10 million times. They've shot 10 million pucks. They've done everything. Like, honestly, it's not making a massive difference on anybody. Oh boy, I haven't been on the ice in 12 hours. I need to get back on there again, or I'm going to be rusty. Like, trust me, nobody's rusty.
This is a team that's not playing great.
Yeah,
to me,
that's upstairs. It's called. There's an old saying in sports. It's saying we're going to start on time, and whether you practice or not, that's in your head. That's making the right decisions when you're on the ice. And when are you going to make bad decisions versus good decisions, Wally? You're normally going to make bad decisions when you're tired. So if you're a coach, you're like, I want to make sure we stop making these bad decisions, these bad line changes. Those guys, why did they make a bad line change? Because they were exhausted. They overextended. So what are you going to do? Probably going to give your team some time and make sure they're mentally ready, rested, ready to go, versus dragging everybody to the rink and throwing on the gear again. So that's what like I said, every team's doing it, Wally. Nobody's prancing anymore.
Moving on. I'll let it go for now. It's still bothering me. Think you know hockey. Play Sobeys, my NHL picks, weekly for a chance to win big prizes like a trip for 4 to this year's Stanley Cup Finals. A new slate of games opens up every Thursday from now on until the end of the regular season. So download the Sobeys app, pick winners of 5 NHL games, and compete for your chance to win prizes such as Sobeys grocery offers and up to 150,000 Scene Plus points. I did my picks last week, Yorkie. 4 for 5.
Nice.
4 for 5. But it's not going to get me a trip to the Cup Final. But
yeah, well,
you know what? Tomorrow the new picks start, and you and I are going to share our picks.
Well, you know what you and I might do as well, Wally? Once all this snow melts, we might go golfing. You know who's going to help us out? Our good friends.
By the way, the snow is never melting.
It'll melt. It'll melt. It's going to melt because I've got a surprise for everybody. Club EG.
You're just trying to work in the segue.
Club EG. I'm a segue master. They seem to be doing everything in the Ottawa golf season. You can get access to 60 amazing courses at awesome member-only rates. They run over 10 golf leagues, several golf trips all around the world, major events like the Ottawa Sun Scramble, Ottawa Citizen Golf Championship, and more. You don't have to be a member to register for any of their events, leagues, or trips, but if you do want to become a member, you will be part of a great club that caters to every single type of golfer. Even you, Wally, a hacker, you can get in on with Club EG. So check it out, clubeg.golf, to get started playing more golf this summer at an Ottawa course near you.
It's going to be August by the time all this snow melts the way it's going.
Snow's good for golf courses, though. Snow's good for golf courses. It insulates the greens.
I know. So there's been like the last few years has actually been some concern with the lack of snow. So they better be brilliant this year. Okay.
Yeah.
Tim Stützle enters this game, by the way, on a 12-game point streak. He's now tied for the 7th longest in franchise history and the longest since Drake Batherson in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. He's got assists in 5 straight road games. If he can get one more, he will be. Let me just double check. Hang on. Yeah. The record is Mark Stone and Erik Karlsson of 8 straight road games with an assist. We'll see if he can continue that streak tonight.
Some good company there. The old Stoner and what was his the Big E, King Carl. I love how Stutz was playing yesterday. We talked about him yesterday. What more could you say? He's been lights out. He's gonna have to be lights out again. You know what it is with Stutz? Every time he touches the puck, you feel like he's gonna make something happen. Like he's got that mojo going on again.
You pay to watch those players.
His escapability in tight spaces is amazing. How he can put the puck here, protect it, spin off, change speeds. No, he's been real fun to watch lately. So I expect if I was doing some kind of parlay or something, man, I think Timmy's gonna have a good night tonight. Absolutely.
He needs one. But does he need to have a winger, Yorkie? I know we've had this discussion. Something to keep an eye on, perhaps, maybe, is you brought up Spencer Knight in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
The Florida Panthers have now Chris Drieger as a backup, who hasn't played in the NHL this season. Former Ottawa Senator, great. Never was actually had a start in Ottawa in his 4 seasons here. Played 3 games.
Former great.
If the Panthers, if something happens to Sergei Bobrovsky, I would think their Stanley Cup aspirations are over. Should they be making a pitch for Anton Forsberg?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't. That's all they got. That's all they got is big Dreeks.
They only have 3 goalies signed to contract. And
Chris it seems these good teams just pull goalies out of their ass, and all of a sudden that goalie that plays ends up playing well. Like the year Vegas won the cup, it was like, who's going to start? Didn't matter. Good teams just find a way to win no matter who's in their net. Should they make a move? I haven't watched them play, so I don't know on that. Should they make a move for Forsberg? I don't know. Should Ottawa trade Forsberg? I don't know. Like, what do you think?
I know they won't do this. I'm going to throw that, but I know people are going to throw things at their phone or iPad, whatever they're watching on. Sam Bennett is a UFA next year.
Oh my God. One of my favorite players in the league. Sam Bennett is, that guy is just everybody saw him in the Four Nations.
Right. They wouldn't move him, I'm going to guess.
No,
but
you're not moving him.
But at some point, the money is going to run out in Florida.
Cap's going up.
I know.
Cap's going up.
I think they've got $8 million in cap space.
How are they affording Seth Jones, by the way?
Because
did Chicago eat? Did they eat that?
Yeah. It's the most money ever retained in NHL history, if I'm not mistaken, on a contract.
Yeah, and Kachuk's been moved to injured reserve until playoff time, so that always helps. A little shuffle here. Come on in, Seth Jones. I think he's going to be a great fit in Florida too. Like, you put a big rate D that can skate on a good team, that's going to be a real nice fit. So yeah, they're going to find a way to get Bennett done. You don't trade guys like that.
But what's he going to, he makes 4.1 or something right around there.
He's going to get a raise. And don't forget, when you play in Florida with the tax situation, you're only paying roughly 35% tax compared to 50% in some states. So right away, it's like, give or take, you make 15% more, which is a lot, especially when you do long. And also, come on, let's be honest. Who doesn't? Why would he he'll take, in my opinion, I could see him taking a little bit of a hometown discount to stay in Florida. Why would you want to leave? Why would you want to leave a great team that's always trying to win? You got great weather. Seems to be a great fit there. Probably is loved in the dressing room. I guarantee you, I don't know if he's married or has kids, but I'm sure his family's pretty cozy there and likes it. So
I know. I just think Florida's going to have to make a play for a goalie somewhere. That was my only thought.
I would, if it was me, unless he had some kind of thing going on, some kind of history where you thought his body's not going to last and you don't want to go, and there's a sign saying this guy's going to lose it in a couple of years, but I don't see that. Man, you don't trade guys like that. Those are the guys everybody around the league wants.
I agree. Right? I agree. It's a complete pie in the sky, but
I listen. Hey, and you could get, of all the guys in the league that I would want on my team, you put Sam Bennett, man, right in that upper bracket of guys that you would love on your team. Absolutely. Come on, look at them with the Four Nations. Did you hear the story? So I listened to, this is great. And this tells you a lot about Sam Bennett. You get all those guys together at the Four Nations. And I heard John Cooper talk, and this is a great story. I love hearing stuff like this. He had to scratch some guys for game one. I don't know if you heard this story. Mm-hmm. So imagine that. You're looking down that Four Nations roster, and you're like, I'm going to have to go tell one of these guys they're not playing. So it's going to be Sam Bennett. So Coop goes to Sam Bennett. And he goes, Sam, I got to tell you. And he goes, let me stop you right there, Coop. You don't have to say anything. He goes, listen, I would have came here and played no matter what, even if I knew I wasn't playing. I just wanted to be part of this team and part of this group. And Cooper goes on to tell the story of how he goes, wow. He goes, now I know why this guy's a winner. Now I know why Florida wins. This guy just embodies what being a team player is. So, and there's a guy, like, he won the Stanley Cup. Like, he was arguably one of the best players in the playoffs last year. Not arguably, was. And you got to tell that guy he's scratched, and he comes back and says, you don't have to say anything. Like that right there. What does that tell you? Those are the kind of guys you want, Wally. Those are the guys you want. And not to mention, he's a great player.
Sam Bennett's on our must acquire list. No. Imagine if you just tuned into the show. People are like, what is going on? Okay,
we're just pumping Sam Bennett's tires.
I just think I know, anyway, whatever, it's a pipe dream. Okay. Finally, Yorkie, let's get to the Dogs, because we can get into discussing Chicago.
Okay.
And I have some numbers for you before you make a pick today.
Gotcha.
So take care of our friends.
Yeah, good thanks to our friends at BEI. Spring is just around the corner, so they say. So
you keep telling me.
So that means it's time to start thinking about landscaping. If you need some landscape stones, some aggregate, give BEI a call. They can also help you with doing your driveway. Bonnechere Excavating is there to help with competitive pricing on all your landscape needs. Give them a call at 613-432-1120 or go to BonnechereExcavating.com. BEI is helping to shape the Ottawa Valley.
And of course, coming in hot, probably presented to you by our proud presenting sponsor, Bet365. Open an account today with Bet365. Bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. At Bet365, use code NATION. Must be 19 years of age or older. Please play responsibly. Download the app today, Ontario only. Yorkie, here is the same game parlay for you today. There was Brady 3 shots, Jake Sanderson 3 shots, Tim Stützle 3 shots. I'm like, no, they're not. That may not be the case today. Tim Stützle an assist. I think that's very doable. The way he's Drake Batherson to score a goal in Ottawa to win that game.
So we need a Batherson goal, we need a Stützle assist, and an Ottawa win.
Yes,
those 3 things need to happen
for plus 500. I would take that parlay.
I like that. I like that. I can almost guarantee you Stützle's going to get an assist tonight. I would think. Okay. I would like a Batherson assist more, but yeah, I think it's high time he gets a goal. So I take that action, Wally. I like that. It's a good. It is a reasonable bet to take. I'd take it.
Okay, so before you make your pick, I want to point out to you the Ottawa. By the way, how many times do you think the Ottawa Senators have played in Chicago in franchise history?
Okay, the Ottawa Senators have been around for what are we? 2025. Let's go. I don't know, 60.
20
in Chicago
games. 20 games. Because you remember when they changed the schedule up, you could only go to one.
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
Remember all that stuff?
Yeah. So you gotta. And sometimes too, you never go there in a year. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So, in their 20 games, they have 3 wins.
In 20 games,
3, 12, and 3 with 2 ties.
What is the recent history, though, in the last little while? Do you have that information?
So I'm going to tell you, Ottawa hasn't won in Chicago since 2016.
So
Mike Condon was the winning goalie. Dion Phaneuf scored the game-winning goal.
Wow. But they haven't played that often in Chicago since 2016. There haven't been a lot of games in Chicago since 2016.
I think they're 0-7-4 in the last 11.
0-7-4. Oh boy. But has Chicago ever been this bad as they are this year?
I feel like that. Yes, they have.
I don't think they have. I don't think I can remember players openly criticizing. It takes a lot for a player to openly criticize the franchise in and that's what Seth Jones did before he got traded. So
since they have one win, I apologize, in the last 11 games. They've lost 4 straight, and they're 0-4-1 in the last 5 games in Chicago.
So I'll put an asterisk in there, Wally. When is the last time Ottawa has gone into Chicago and been in a playoff race when they can actually make the playoffs and the game means something? Probably this is the first time.
I don't know. As Ryan Allen says, the Eric Daze days were bleak. It's very fair.
And Ottawa probably, like Chicago used to be a really good team long ago with Taves and Kane, Patrick Sharp, Duncan Keith. Like they were putting.
You forgot they lost 5-0 last year in Chicago. Like,
yeah.
Anyway,
5-0 there. But
so
Ottawa wasn't very good last year. Ottawa's bad last year.
I'm just trying to point out that there just isn't a great record in Chicago. You know what that's like? Sometimes in buildings like Carolina, Chicago, I believe the Islanders as well, you just have teams that you struggle with. So
yeah.
You can either go to the Dogs or you can make your pick.
So just don't forget, like, you got Nick Jensen coming in on the blue line saying, "Oh man, every time I've been with the Senators, we've lost." Oh shit, yeah, I haven't been with the Senators that long. And then you got David Perron, who's won the cup. Oh shit, man, we haven't. That's why you have those different guys there.
I know Linus Ullmark wasn't the goalie. I get it.
Like Amadio won the cup in Vegas. He's like, damn it, we just can't win in this building. Shit, what are we gonna do? So I'm not a big.
Just for the whole purpose of the show,
the drama.
I really want Chicago to win tonight.
I'm not
only to throw this back in your face. Anyway,
I'm not. Listen, like I said, if Chicago wins, Ottawa, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs. You got to win this game. So I'm taking Ottawa. I think they're going to be very prepared to start this game. They're going to get off to a good start, and they're going to take care of business, Wally. They're going to take care of business. So I'm taking the Sennies to win this.
Let's see what Charlie has to say about this.
All right, Charlie. It's must-win Wednesdays. Ottawa facing the Chicago Blackhawks. Connor Bedard tonight. They're going to need 2 points to keep pace in this tight Eastern Conference. So, question of the day, who are you picking in tonight's game? Do you have the Ottawa Senators or the Chicago Blackhawks? Who's it going to be? Oh, sniffing it out. Oh, Charlie. It's taking the Sens again.
Okay. All right.
She sniffed it out though. Like she kind of usually she just goes right over. She's like sniff. She's sniffing.
I feel like there was leading the witness.
Nope. No leading.
Okay, Gertie.
Who you got? Chicago or Ottawa? Gertie, what are you doing?
Gertie doesn't even listen to the
important game.
There's no come on, like the dog's got to get the facts of what's going on. It's like just hungry dog just gets out of that bed and bam, grabs that food.
Gertie and I have discussed this. We sit on the couch at night when we look up our stats and we discuss it. She was well prepared. I'm a little concerned. Yeah.
Right to the Blackhawks. Wow, Gertie, come on.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see how this plays out.
We shall see.
Her record is very good, though. Like, I think she's 5-1 or somewhere in that.
She's pretty good. It's pretty good. You know why? She just doesn't really think about it. She just goes with her gut. Pardon the pun.
Ryan Allen, Gertie said they don't practice enough.
Damn it.
All right.
What are you doing? So you gonna watch the game at home? Are you and Lisa gonna go out again?
No. I got a show to prepare for. Andrew Hammond's scheduled to be on the show tomorrow.
He's not gonna cancel half hour.
Why? I don't. So far, so good.
Come on, Hamburglar. You're in the business world now. I heard you're selling like pharmaceutical stuff and stuff like that. Maybe he had a business meeting. He's a businessman now.
He is a businessman, but he's always been a good friend of mine.
I heard he's a good dude. I don't know him at all, actually.
He is a good dude. We've kept in touch since since he's left Ottawa. Always
it's crazy. Like I went back because when you told me he was on the show, and it's amazing when you go back and you just look at the numbers to that 1 year, right? 20-1. The save percentage is like tomorrow. This is gonna be my first question. How did you do that? It doesn't make any sense.
So he's left out, and he's told us on the show before. He stayed at the Brook Street Hotel, and at the end of the run, he talked about being really fatigued.
Yeah.
And he had actually changed the bed at the Brook Street Hotel. They brought in like this $2,000 bed or something crazy because his back was bothering him. Like he was exhausted down the end, and it ended up showing up. And I think we've discussed like he was tired going into that playoff round in those first two games, and he wasn't really himself. But that was part of it, was how much of a toll it took just to play that many. Like, we can't get goalies to play like 3 straight games now, it seems like. And here that guy was
every game,
right? Oh my God! I think there was
trying to.
Yeah.
Did he take how many games in a row did he play?
I'm gonna double check because I think he had 2 or 3 off.
You got to complete. It's insane.
There was the one time in Winnipeg. They had just played in Minnesota. They went to Winnipeg, and Dave Cameron says Craig Anderson's going to play tonight. It's his first game back. He's going to play. They're in the lobby of the hotel. They don't have a morning skate. They're in the lobby, and I can see Craig Anderson over with Pierre Gru sitting on a couch just not far. And suddenly afterwards, Dave goes over, talks to Craig, comes back and goes, Andrew Hammond will be starting.
A way to get mentally prepared for that one.
Yeah. So anyway, it was quite the run. So it was.
Well, it'll be fun tomorrow. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it should be good. Now, we did touch on Brady Tkachuk getting close to 500. Thomas Chabot's also nearing 500 games. He plays game 492 tonight. There's lots of milestones coming up for this group. It has been a fun year to watch these guys play. The only thing, Yorkie, do we have the scoring leaders right now, Jake, available? I'm not sure there's been a whole lot of guys outside of Jake Sanderson on that group. Maybe Thomas Chabot, who's I think tied last year's point total, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I know where you're going here. Well,
they're not tearing like Tim Stützle, by the way, is the only player above a point per game, and he's not far off his 90-point season point per game wise. I think he's on pace right now for 84 points.
I'll add a guy to that list that I think is playing not above expectations, but is doing a lot right now. And got off to a really, really slow start. If you remember, Shane Pinto, like he's starting to pop right now. And look, he's playing on the third line too. Like he's finding a way to provide 5-on-5 offense, playing good two-way hockey. So yeah, he got 14 goals, and he's only played in 48 games. Like that's pretty good numbers. That's pretty good numbers. 14 goals. Be nice to see him hit. He's probably going to get 20. Norris has 19. Yeah, everyone's down. You knew, like I knew guys' numbers were going to come down this year because of the system and the style of play. You have to give up, because the way you get more points sometimes is by cheating, and cheating happens when you are on the wrong side of the puck, hoping you get a 2-on-1, blowing the zone, all that. We all know what that stuff is. So for the most part this year, this team hasn't cheated like they have in years past. And this is why I always say, like, this is why guys on bad teams get points. Like everyone on teams has to have guys that gets points. And some guys get more from cheating. Some guys get more from playing. Don't forget too, like Ottawa, I made this point yesterday, Wally. Ottawa is one of the rare teams in the NHL where your top power play doesn't suck up the whole minute 50. Like most teams in the league, especially the top scorers, those guys don't come off the ice. Like they'll give the second unit 10 seconds So add on, I don't know what the percentage number is, but if you let Stutzla or whoever's on the first unit, Batherson, Kachuk, stay on 1:40, probably you're going to add at least 10 points to each of their totals, at least, because that you're just getting that much longer to pad your stats and get points. That's how it works.
I understand your point, but we always said if you played great defensively,
you win. And look where they are.
You should see. I still think we need to see more offense from this.
I agree. More offense,
like
which
not
is great.
Not drastically. There's a concern that if they get into tight games, are they going to still win these 2-1?
So let's go back and look at last year's numbers. Like you had guys with a lot more goals, but you had a team that, well, you showed me the stats. We're in 15th place right now this year. So I'm taking
Save
less.
Percentage was terrible, 880.
I'm taking less points for more wins. I like what they've done. They've done it. Has it been perfect? No. Have they changed the way this team goes about playing their games? Absolutely. And that's why they are where they are right now. They're playing a more complete game this year. They're struggling right now. Absolutely. They need to get some more goals. They need to be more consistent on that. But if you watch what this team has done from game one up until now, you'd have to be an idiot to think this team has not made huge improvements. They have.
Agreed. Without question. And I think their power play is 11th, so near top 10. Like goals against is near top 10. For sure. This is why I really think they need to add a top 6 player.
Yeah.
If they can,
look at
the deadline.
I'll take Claude Giroux, for example. Like his point totals are down, but on most teams, he would be on your first power play unit and play 1:30 of every power play. So for most part of this year, he got the second unit, getting 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Now he's back on the first unit. Norris has now been put on the second unit. Who knows if that's going to change or not? But that really plays a part on your point totals, how much power play time you get. And also, too, offensive looks, too. Like some teams just trot the same guys out for all the best offensive looks. Like, perfect example, Chicago. Watch Chicago tonight. Watch every single time they have a chance to get a good offensive faceoff, a power play. Connor Bedard will be on the ice for the entire time. So that just increases his opportunity. That'll be the same for Donato. You get all the looks, you're eventually going to get the points. So, but hey, listen, like I said, I would much rather have lower point totals, lower goal totals, and Ottawa be where they are right now versus years past where they were terrible.
Okay. I do have a question for you that came in on our YouTube comments after the last episode from Mercer 911. Question for Yorkie. Would a GM, i.e. Steos, sit with a team captain, i.e. Brady, and discuss a potential deal in the works, whether it's Norris for whomever, to get their opinion first? So is Steve Steos going to go, hey, Brady, we're looking to trade Josh Norris. What are you thinking?
I think a lot of teams do that. I think a lot of GMs will talk to their captains, their leadership group, and get a sense. And it might not be exactly, hey, we're doing this. It would be, hey, what do you know about this guy? You played with this guy. What do you think? Do you think this guy would be a good fit? They might not exactly say who's leaving. It'll be more like when you're bringing a player in, smart teams do it. They'll ask the players because the players know.
Right. What do you know about this guy?
Yeah, and for sure, like absolutely. I think that's just smart business. As you get closer to the trade deadline, like, yeah, teams for sure bring guys in and say, this is what we're thinking of doing. Like I just think that's smart to do that. And I always wondered when I was playing why it was so secretive, because it's like, hey, we're the guys on the ice. Like we know especially now, Wally, the guys in the league all know each other. They know about what guys do.
They know the injuries. They know all that stuff. The fact that we keep going, oh, we don't know what the injury is. They all know.
They all know. Like guys know which guys might like to go out for a beer, what guys are good in the room, which guys aren't good in the room, which guys are good guys, because they all played with one another. at different points of whether it was a U.S. development team, whether it was a college, junior,
summer
whatever.
skate, anything.
Is this like they know who, if a guy's a cancer, if a guy's, they know it. So that's 100%. To answer the question, yes. They ask the guys.
So here's the thing, because this goes all the way back. I remember Jason Spezza was asked about, because he knew everybody. He was asked all the time about players.
Yeah.
Would you let your captain veto a trade or heavily influence it?
Would I let? Not if I wanted to do the trade and I thought it was good for the team. Like that's what your job is, whether you're the coach or the GM. Like you got to take good leadership takes opinions from everybody, and you just don't base it on one person. Like somebody might have a reason for it or whatever, but the worst thing people do is just think they know everything. Smart people surround themselves with other smart people and take opinions from everybody and then make an informed decision. So that's what happens. Like I'm not like anybody that's listening to our podcast in the business world. Like, yeah, that makes sense. But that's what smart people do. And that's why people in the hockey business that have failed before, a lot of people that have failed in the hockey business are really afraid to surround themselves with good people because, Wally, you work in the NHL, you make a lot of money. Like a lot of people have their jobs and try and protect themselves and don't want to bring in good people because they're like, shit, when we start losing, that guy that's pretty smart might take my job.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this, a lot of teams, a lot of guys in the league are like that. But
successful teams aren't, Yorkie. They aren't.
Well, because
they bring in people that can push that GM. Even look at what George McPhee did in Vegas. He had a successor and went to become president.
But
good teams do that.
But you look, anyways, you could talk about Ottawa in the past, how they did things, why they failed. Big reason. But one of the first things Ottawa did, you brought in a guy like Dave Poulin, smart guy, bounce ideas off of. Ryan Bonus, another smart guy. So for sure, like you take everybody's opinions, you take players, you take your scouts. There's so many people that go into a move when you're going to do it. You just don't decide on yourself. And the players are part of it too, especially the players. If a player knows something about that player, you want all the information you get before you make a move that's going to impact your hockey team. 100%.
I'd like to actually, next time we have Brady on, I'd like to ask how often he gets asked about deals. Like, I'm not sure when they made the deal for Linus Ullmark or if they brought in Nick Jensen, if he was really asked. I think it's different players. Anyway.
And that's too why you have your pro scouts. Like your pro scouts are paid for a reason. They're out watching games. They're seeing how guys are playing, seeing if the guy's a good fit. And that's why you pay your guys. Like that's what their job is to see who's going to be a fit with how your team plays.
Agreed. All right. We're out of here today, but Chicago tonight I will call it the most important game of the season. Like it is a must-win of epic proportions.
Yeah, it is the most important game. And what's the next game? The Rangers? That will be the most important game of the year. But for today,
the Detroit game.
But for today and for tonight, it's Chicago Blackhawks are the most important game of the year.
I would really like to see Ottawa in a playoff spot tomorrow morning.
Agreed. Let's get out of here.
If that happens. Tune in tomorrow, by the way. We'll give away a free round of golf from Club EG. We may have some other prizes on the way. So see you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Yorkie, good to see you, my friend.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody.
See you, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to Coming In Hot. If you enjoyed the show, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to never miss an episode.